welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who is about to try to say as many horror remakes he can in a minute. It's David Cross.
What's going on?
All right.
My God, you put me on the spot.
So I'm putting on my timer here. I'm pulling up my timer, and so much like in this movie, how Kirby, who is awesome, by the way, Kirby's like one of my favorite Scream characters, rattles off a ton of horror remakes. All right? So You have 1 minute to say as many as you can. Ready? Go.
Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street, Last House on the Left, Prom Night, I Spit on Your Grave, The Crazies, oh my God, that Sam Raimi movie, Evil Dead, Halloween 2, oh my God. Ghost Ship, I think it's a remake. So is 13 Ghosts. Oh, wow. I am starting to run off.
You got 30 seconds left. You got 30 seconds.
I don't know. This is so hard.
You got this.
Remakes, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm running out. I really am. Of a horror.
20 seconds. You got. Give me three more.
Three more. There was going to be a Blob. Never came out. Silent Night, Deadly Night. It was just Silent Night. Oh my God.
House of Wax.
House of Wax.
Dawn of the Dead.
House of Wax. Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah.
That was fun.
That was rough, man.
So I love this scene in Scream 4 where she just rattles off all the remakes, and I just said I'm going to do that to David.
I got maybe 10.
You had 13.
Oh, that's a good number too.
Well, you did say Halloween 2. Which one is Halloween 2 a remake of?
The third Halloween movie. I guess that's not quite true. So maybe I got 12. Like Halloween 2, the one with Rob Zombie, isn't really a remake of anything, but Halloween 1 is.
Also, Ghost Ship is an unofficial remake of The Shining.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so they wanted to be much more Shining-like, but then they took a lot of it out. So you have the scene of people dancing and so my wife Megan's a big Ghost Ship fan, and I showed her The Shining for the first time, and she's like, wow, the Ghost Ship is the Shining, but on a boat.
You know, I've never heard of anyone say that they're a Ghost Ship fan.
You know those movies that you just play late at night and they're just background?
Yeah.
Yeah, she loved it as a background movie.
I saw that in the theater, and I remember walking out of it, and the friend I saw it with was like, "That's a bad movie," and I was like, "I think it might be a bad movie." And I don't like to say movies are bad, but I remember just having a real what the fuck moment after that.
That was fun. So I put you on the spot there, man. But how do you feel? Do you need to practice your remakes now? Should I bring you next time we pod when we're talking about Crawl? Should I have you do this again?
Yeah, I should probably practice a little bit on my remakes. So the thing about remakes, right? Like I'll see them and I immediately forget them, and they don't resonate with me as well as the originals.
Yeah, no, they're like there's a few I really love. So I love the Fright Night remake. I love The Thing. I like The Crazies a lot. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of them just sort of like The Grudge and The Ring and Pulse and all those. They're just there.
Yeah, The Departed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Scorsese. Scorsese loves him some remakes.
As a director, isn't that like the best? You're like, oh well, I'll just redo this movie that's done really well and set myself up with an audience, and I know there's audience. Like I already know it's done well, so I can clearly make some money off it.
Yeah, I mean that was a smart move, and I think it's one of the only remakes, the few remakes to ever win an Academy Award for Best Picture. The Departed. Did The Departed win?
The Departed did win.
Yeah,
yes.
Like remakes really never win. So this Scream 4. So, all right, the latest Child's Play that came out this year was kind of a reboot or a remake. And then Pet Sematary was an adaptation, another adaptation. It wasn't really a remake because it was an adaptation of a book. I call them all remakes. I let people argue with it. But Scream 4 was made it came out in 2011, and this was when the remake craze was fading because the remakes were really huge in the 2000s. So this was kind of this was a reboot remake sequel, right?
I mean, it was definitely a sequel masquerading as a reboot.
Yeah,
because it's not a remake because all the main cast is still in it.
So then it's a reboot?
That's what I was calling it, a reboot, because it's trying to bring in new cast and continue with them.
Now, the other three Scream movies were big. They did big money. I mean, they did Scrooge McDuck, money. This movie didn't really pull in as much. Why do you think that is?
Well, my main thought behind that is that it came out too late after the first one. And so the audience of Scream movies is typically going to be teens, at least the original three. So this movie had a weird thing with its audience where the main characters are arguably 40-year-old actors. So I don't think the audience was right. Like no one knew who to go. No one knew who to see it. Like if they should see it. So the kids didn't know if they could see it. And then adults were like, well, do I need to see a fourth movie, something that hasn't come out in 15 years?
Yeah. And this also sort of suffered from the Blade Trinity factor for me, where I went to go watch Blade Trinity to watch Wesley Snipes destroy people. And then I got Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds making jokes. And they were really good. I thought, I liked him in the movie. And I enjoyed it for what it is. But I wanted Blade hurting people. So now when I watch Scream 4, I just want Neve Campbell, David Arquette, and Gale Weathers wrecking folks. And then you add them and then a brand new cast. And I think the only standout of the new characters was Kirby, played by Hayden Panettiere. She's the only one that I was remotely interested in. And do you feel like that?
I 100% agree, and I'm glad you brought that up because I couldn't care less about any of the other characters. Hayden was such a good actress in this, and the character herself was funny, and whenever she was on the screen, I was immediately drawn to her. And you're right. When I was watching this movie, I had this thought where I was like, I only really care about the three main characters. I don't care about the teens except for Kirby. Also, what is going on with Sydney's story arc? Because I struggled to figure out what is she doing.
Yeah, because she wrote a book and came home, but that was it.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm no longer a victim. But I thought we had established that she's no longer a victim in the third movie.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, so with hers, it was flat. It was a flat story arc.
And then all right, so this is one of those movies where I like it more thinking about it than watching it. And I know that sounds weird because I do love the idea. I love the three very meta fake outs in the beginning for Stab 6, Stab 7, and then the modern day, the first killings. I like the idea of coming back after so many remakes. I guess the thing I enjoyed most is just Gale Weathers saying that your lemon bars taste like ass. And then Dewey's reactions. I mean, so I don't get it. You watch David Arquette movies, and we talked about Eight-Legged Freaks. In these movies, he's a very warm, nice. He's not like a man-child. He's an actual man. And I never see him do that in other movies. It's really weird. And we talked about Ravenous, too. It's just, why is he so much better in the Scream movies than he is in other movies?
Well, I feel like he's sort of pigeonholed. And then you got pigeonholed into that kind of actor where he's he's a comedic actor in a sense. So he's a little bit jokey. And with the Scream role, I think it's like meant for him to be jokey. It was like his big turn, right? So he knows the character better than any of his other characters. This is his fourth time out. It's a great point, but I don't mind him being sort of weird and funny and self-deprecating and sort of like an average guy who's just way over his head.
Yeah. But I like that about him, right?
Yeah, it makes him relatable. It makes him 100% relatable. You know that he's never going to save the day, but he's going to help someone else save the day.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Like in the third one, he gets hit in the head with a knife. He gets knocked out by a bedpan in this one, but he's always trying to get there.
Yeah. He's like a crappy version of Indiana Jones. Like when you watch Indiana Jones, you know that despite everything, Indiana Jones is giving it his 100%. And with this, it's like Dewey's 100% is just not going to cut it.
Yeah. That's funny. But I like that. But he's like a Jack Burton. He just keeps plugging away.
Exactly.
And then he's there at the end.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. There's two characters who I absolutely love in this franchise. It's Gale Weathers and Dewey. Sydney is fine. Everyone else is fine. But those two characters are the characters I came to see.
All right. Here's the deal. You're making a movie. You're a director, David. You just directed a movie called Bumblebee Matters, a little indie that made it big, right? Mm-hmm. And they're saying, hey, you get to direct Scream 5, all right? So you're making Scream 5, and you can bring back any character from the Scream franchise. Dead or alive, you can bring them back. Which five characters from Scream 1, 2, 3, 4 would you pick? And I got my 5, by the way. So if you had to pull together 5 characters to make a Scream 5, which 5 would you base the movie on?
Okay, that's a great question. Okay, first I want Gale and Dewey. I think you have to have them.
Okay.
Then I want Stu from the first one.
Oh, yeah.
I want Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
And number 5, that's who I feel like I should say Sydney, but she's not always my favorite character. Mm-hmm. Is it Tatum? That's Rose McGowan from the first one?
Yeah, you want Tatum?
I want Tatum, yeah.
All right, so you have Gale, Dewey, Stu. So basically the cast of Scream with Kirby added.
Yeah, basically.
All right, so I would take Joel from Scream 2, the cameraman.
Okay.
Because I just love it. I was like, I'm getting out of here. And then he leaves, and then he lives. I like that vibe. Then I'm going to take Kirby, of course. Then I'm going to add Jennifer Jolie, who's Parker Posey from Scream 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add Aunt Randy, played by Jamie Kennedy. And then Stu, played by Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, I'm glad we picked Stu. Stu's a great character.
I mean, he just peer pressure got him. It's like, I love that. And you know what I liked about the killers in the first Scream film? I believe, aside from Mrs. Loomis in Scream 2, and they had to change the killer in Scream 2 because the script, the script leak, so they had to switch it to Oliphant at the last minute. But I liked, you see Matthew Lillard, and he's a formidable killer. The killers in Scream 4, obviously when someone's running at you with a knife, you're not going to think clearly, but they're little. Like, the killers in Scream 1 had some heft to them. They seem more, does that make sense? Like, they were more formidable, I guess.
Yeah. I was reading that Emma Roberts is like 5'2" or 5'3", and she had to wear heels to make her bigger in the movie because she was the smallest member of the cast.
If she was in Jurassic World, she would have been well off running around in heels the entire time.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
Only it's a skill that happens in all movies.
So, writing my notes for this film, I always have the same thing. What I do is I always write down all the characters' names and the directors and all that. So I have Sid, I have Dewey, I have Gale, but then I have all right, so I have Robbie, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to remember that, so I just put Camera Kid, and then I have Charlie, and then I put other film kid, killer. So Nico, I put ex-boyfriend. I didn't remember Olivia, the girl who I think might be the worst Scream character ever as far as acting goes.
Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely.
Like, she just kind of keeps saying they just keep hating on Neve Campbell. She survived through so many terrible things. People try to murder her, and everyone's like, she's the angel of death. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. This movie, but I like it though. We're not hating on this, correct? So you pitched this movie to me because you think it's underrated, correct?
Yeah, I think it's 100% underrated. And maybe we should say why we like this film, or maybe why we like the Scream franchise, and then why we like this film particularly. Right, and I have some reasons for it.
Yeah, let's hear it. Yeah, I want right. Absolutely. Tell me.
All right. So in general, I like the Scream franchise because I like horror movies in general. Mm-hmm. But I think the Scream franchise has some things going on that other horror movies don't. And that's that they have a main cast that goes through all the other films. So you get to know and follow these cast members, and you care about them when they die.
You know what's interesting is when people kept insulting Sydney in this movie, I was getting annoyed. So I must have a bond with the character. I'm like, leave her alone. And then, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Why is Sydney running? Like, Sydney would beat these people up. I kept getting annoyed by all this.
Yeah. And I have two, or at least one other main reason. And I think what makes the Scream movies super successful is that they're actually a combination of two different movie genres. It's a horror movie and a whodunit combined.